Okay, my friends. Gonna do something controversial in this video. I know. You might be asking yourself, what's the Mortis one gonna do? What's he gonna say? Well, today I'm gonna be talking about the MCU, specifically the 4 Thor movies. Alright? I'm not gonna talk about them each individually in a ton of depth because that would make this video an hour and 30 minutes, but I will go over them, give my ranking of which ones I think are best to worst, and why I think that Thor Love and Thunder deserves a little bit more credit than people have been giving it. I know, that's a controversial take. I know, people are gonna, the pitchforks are up, you know, people are gonna be real mad that I said that, but I believe if you let me explain myself as to why Love and Thunder isn't necessarily the worst MCU movie, it is the worst Thor movie, but it's not necessarily the worst MCU movie, and there are some redeeming qualities about the film I genuinely enjoyed. So, we're going to get into it. Let's start with which I think is the best Thor movie. Usually I like to go from like worst to best, you know, say best for last. But today we're going to go from best to worst because I gotta explain this at the end. You guys got to stick around. You got to find out, you know, why I think Love and Thunder isn't as, you know, maybe it's a 6 and not a 3. Okay. So, obviously it goes without saying the best Thor movie is Thor Ragnarok, okay? This movie was the shit, okay? Hela was a great villain. The actress that played her was really good. It's funny, I used to see this meme about her with one of the on-set people, and she was like a lot taller than them, and it was like my wife when she gets home from her busy corporate job, and I tell her about a Lego set I want. I thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, Thor Ragnarok, best Thor movie, alright? And Surtur was a great finale to that movie. Thor was very powerful in that movie despite not having his hammer. In this movie, you gotta remember, after he loses Mjolnir, there's no Stormbreaker yet. He's just going pure hands for most of this movie. He fights Hulk. He technically beats Hulk, but then, you know, gets shocked with the shock collar thing. This movie was the quintessential Thor movie, okay? It had the best, like, version of Hulk besides 2008 Hulk, alright? It had Thor, like, kind of reconnecting with what it truly means, but also starting to become the god he's meant to be. He realized that Asgard is not a place, it's a people. So he saves his people, he gets them out of there, he fights Hela, they kind of go to a standstill, and he's like, you know what, I can't beat you, but this man Surtur, he's gonna kill you, which he did. Some people are like, Hela, no, she's dead. It's not like Scarlet Witch, okay, Hela's dead. I'm like 90% sure that she is dead, and I'd be very frustrated if she wasn't, and I'll get into that later. But Thor Ragnarok, best Thor movie. And Thor is a great character in this movie. It was a little confusing though at times because at times he'd have like ridiculous strength, and then there'd be moments where he didn't, and every time he didn't, I'd be like, oh, that's just because he doesn't have his hammer. But then he'd have like these ridiculous feats of strength. I mean, bro, he beat Hulk with no hammer. I mean, and some people argue, you know, Odin in that movie is like, you're not the god of hammers. Okay, let's be real here. Thor gets his power from his hammer, okay? Yes, he's not the god of hammers. That's not his only source of power, but that's his main source of power. If you don't believe me, go watch Infinity War and see what he needs to get to go beat Thanos, okay? Why do you think he nearly sliced him in half in the first movie, okay? Anyway, Thor Ragnarok, best Thor movie, which is kind of funny because it's kind of a transitional Thor movie when you think about it. Like, all the other Thor movies, Thor's like more of a complete character. Like, the first one, you know, I mean, that's the beginning, but he's got Mjolnir. Second movie, that he's fighting the Dark Elf Malekith, he's got Mjolnir. The last movie, he's got Stormbreaker. But in this movie, he's like kind of in between. He's trying to figure out like where to go from here. And somehow, with that in mind, he is still the best Thor. Or, sorry, not the best Thor. That is the best Thor movie. I've been up too long. My time, it is 1:49 in the morning. Because why sleep? Who needs to sleep anymore? I'm kidding. I actually don't sleep very much. I'll get into that later. But Thor Ragnarok, goated Thor movie, the best Thor movie. And partially what makes this movie so good is the connection between Loki and Thor. There's this scene that I really love where Loki is just, it kind of shows who Loki really is, that Loki isn't necessarily evil. He's just very selfish and greedy. But he's not necessarily an evil person. Like in the Loki series, no one true good is ever truly good and no one bad is ever truly bad. Loki is extremely wise. I think people forget that. And in this movie, you know, he's like kind of questioning Thor. I mean, you guys, I'm sure you remember. This movie's been out just in 2017, but in the weird off chance you haven't seen it, go get yourself a Disney Plus subscription or a website that I can't say, I don't want you to get taken down, and go watch it. All right? Because this is the Thor movie. And in this scene, you know, Loki's talking to Thor, and he's kind of like, oh, basically again, like I said in my experiences video, I have a tendency to not remember specific words very well, but the general gist of what he was saying was like, you know, basically like getting at him like, oh, well, you know, we'll just betray each other, and basically doing the whole, like, you never really loved me thing, but he's not angry, he's just kind of saying it. And Thor, I remember, says something that's really powerful. He's like, Loki, I thought the world of you. I thought we were going to fight side by side forever. But you're you and I'm me, and you'll betray me, I'll trust you. And I think that scene was just very beautiful and telling. And at the very, and this is when like Thor escapes back to Asgard to fight Hela. Loki comes, saves the day with Thor and Valkyrie and Korg and the rest of them. And Loki, I think this is at the end when, I could ever be remembering this wrong, but Thor thinks that it's just a projection, that it's not really Loki. And he's like, if you're here, I give you a hug. And he tosses something at him, and Loki catches it. And we're like, oh, Loki's coming around. Let's go. I mean, Loki's the GOAT, bro. You can't say nothing bad about my boy Loki, bro. This dude is the GOAT Marvel villain. Like, this dude was the villain of the first Thor movie. He was the villain of Avengers. He was in a bunch of other Marvel movies. And, you know, he only lost to Thanos. Like, this guy, well, I mean, he lost, you know, to other people. But, I mean, he only got killed by Thanos. Well, permanently until, you know, later. But that's a different, you know, that's MCU lore for another time. Thor Ragnarok, best Thor movie. Now, it was tough. It was tough to decide what the second and third best Thor movie were. Because, to be honest, I don't dislike any of the Thor movies. I'm just going to be real with you. People hated Love and Thunder. I thought it was definitely the worst one, but I didn't think it was like terrible. I genuinely enjoyed it, like at times. You know, there are parts where I was like, eh. But I'll get into why I didn't think it was so bad. But here's the thing, and y'all are gonna not like this, but second place is Thor: The Dark World. I know people are gonna tell me like, what? But here's why. Okay. First of all, it's very close. It's like 51% to 49%, right? It could have gone either way. The reason I give Thor: The Dark World the edge is because the villain in Thor: The Dark World is way more powerful than the villain in the first one, and Thor has a real fight on his hands. This guy's like a thousands of year olds, like dark elf, cosmic, like, you know, like controlling being who has a very I think he has like I don't think it was called the Reality Stone in that movie, but basically that's what it was, the Aether. And Malekith is low-key an underrated Marvel villain. Like, he's powerful as shit, bro. Like, and Thor's really got to go hard and fight this motherfucker. He beats him, of course. And, you know, I feel like they kind of John Wicked him. They didn't give him a lot of lines. They didn't give him a lot of personality. That part made me sad. But I thought that, like, fight and that, you know, kind of connection between Thor and him and then all that was really good. And I really liked when Thor I don't know if invited's the right word, but when Jane, his love interest, who I'll get into more when I talk about Thor: Love and Thunder in the first Thor, she goes to Asgard and like actually explores it, like gets to know Thor's family. Odin is still alive at this point in time, and he's still ruling Asgard at the time. So there's kind of that connection. It's not like over, kind of like it is in Thor Ragnarok. So there's still like prime Asgard there, and it's very good. And Thor's mom actually dies. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a close call. I only give it the slight edge because I thought Malekith was a very menacing and underrated villain, and I thought the fight between him and Thor was great. It was kind of like a team effort, but Thor carries, you know. I mean, look at Doomsday. He's gonna be carrying that whole fucking team. It's actually embarrassing. But Thor carries, bro. What can I say? Thor carries. Um, anyway, so there's that. And then the other thing, or sorry, not the other thing. It's kind of late. I've been recording a lot of videos in one day. Third place is, of course, the OG Thor. Now, writing-wise, I did think this was better than the second one. Action-wise, I thought the second one was better. But writing-wise, I think the first one was better. It felt more like an authentic Thor experience. A classic Thor adventure, as he would say. And I've always loved his character, man. Thor is just the fucking best. Like, I don't know why this isn't more people's favorite MCU hero. Like, everyone loves him. Nobody doesn't like Thor, but, like, I've never seen a lot of people that say that they're his favorite MCU hero. You know, oh, well, I mean, mine is actually Spider-Man. But if we're talking, like, original MCU, it's Thor. You know, and Spider-Man's kind of, you know, he's MCU, but sometimes it's Sony, then MCU, you know, it's like the whole thing. But Thor is, I love his character, and I love that in the first movie, you know, he's kind of vain, but immediately that changes, you know, once he goes to Earth and has to, like, discover himself, he meets Jane for the first time, they grow close, like, and he becomes the hero he's meant to be. He becomes who he needs to be. And it happens in the first movie. I can't stand it when there's like a movie series and the character doesn't become who they're supposed to be until like this third or fourth movie. That shit pisses me off. Like, here's the thing. The original trilogy of Star Wars, I love. My only complaint is that Luke wasn't already kind of a Jedi in the first movie. I know it's a stupid take, but when you look at episode 6 and 5 and see like how powerful and how far he's come and that, I don't know. Like, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. I wish we got more Return of the Jedi Luke, more than just Return of the Jedi, right? I mean, we did in Legends, but I mean, like, in the canon, you know, that hasn't really happened much. And I feel like that's the OG version of Luke, you know? And that's the point I'm trying to make, is like with Thor, they really just got straight to it. They're like, okay, end of first movie. Of course, I don't think people knew that, you know, there would be 4 movies in 10 years' time. But he's doing it. He's a hero. He is protecting the people. You know, he's being a Thor, which is good. So that is the third place. And now fourth place, Love and Thunder. There was a lot wrong with this movie. I'm not gonna lie. It felt very inauthentic at times. It felt very, like, a little bit too humorous. I know, and people get mad at, like, MCU is too much humor. It's like, yeah, it's a fucking comic book movie. If you don't want that, then, I don't know, go, like, watch Invincible, which is way better than the MCU, I would argue, right? That has some humor, but it's very serious. So if you want that, go watch something that's that. Like, you can't go watch the MCU and expect there to be no humor. It's just like, I mean, you know, overdoing it I get, but so many people, I've heard my whole fucking life, ever since I was like 14, 13, 12, oh, it's just, there's too much humor. It's like, guys, it's a superhero movie made for young people, okay? Even Deadpool and Wolverine that has adult violence has humor. So you're gonna kind of have to just get over it. Like that is genuinely something that always kind of bugged me when people complained about that. Like, I get it with Thor: Love and Thunder because they overdo it, but the overarching, like, it's too much humor. It's like, or no humor. It's like, guys, you don't go to a basketball game and complain that they're playing too much basketball, okay? It's what they do. It's part of the thing, all right? Just enjoy it. Like, so anyway, Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, there were moments I was like, but there were moments I liked it too. Like, first of all, we really got closure on the Jane situation. We wouldn't have got that without this movie. Like, we were in the MCU. We got closure with Jane. I mean, spoiler alert, she died. And it was very sad, but it was also kind of beautifully tragic because when she was dying, like, Thor wasn't, like, super, like, he was saddened, but he was, like, also empowered in a way, it felt like, to carry on her memory. He knew she was probably going to go to Valhalla, and, you know, there's a moment when, because she's dying of cancer, and she gets Mjolnir in this movie, because, you know, Thor has Stormbreaker now, and she's been using Mjolnir, and it's the only thing that's been keeping her alive but killing her at the same time. Also, Gore, the main villain, even though he's not very comic book accurate, I thought was a pretty good villain. I mean, Gore's a powerful, like, enemy. He's, like, on Thanos level in the comics, probably slightly more powerful, right? I mean, it's been a while since I've read Marvel, so I don't know if I can back that up, but he's powerful is my point. You know, he's literally killing gods in the comics. And, you know, in the movies, he killed a few, but it was kind of off screen, so that part was disappointing. But he has a commanding presence I think people don't want to mention. I mean, everyone in Omnipotent City, even Zeus, was scared of him. So the thing is, like, with Thor and Jane in this movie is, like, if we didn't have this movie, I don't really think there would have been an opportunity to get that closure between the two of them that, you know, everyone really wanted. You know, so she's dying of cancer, and there's this moment where Thor is talking to her, and she's like in her bed, and she's like, no, we gotta go fight, we gotta go do all this, and Thor's like, no, stay here, and she doesn't really want to, and they get to talking, and she's kind of like, why? He's like, well, because I love you. And he just says it like simply, but like with a little bit of weakness in his voice, because it really means something to him to say it, and he's like really struggling with the fact that he found out she's dying. I mean, Thor is him, bro. Like, let's just be real here. Thor is him, okay? Who do the Avengers and everyone turn to when they need some shit done, bro? Like, who do they go to, like, in Infinity War and get, like, they turn to Thor, right? Now, I'm not saying Thor is, like, all-powerful, but he is him, bro. Like, he is the Avenger. Like, when it comes to power, that's him right there. You know, fuck Captain Marvel. I don't care about her, okay? I know it's kind of harsh. You know, but compared to Thor, okay? So, that's what we have to remember, my friends, okay? Thor is the GOAT. And that movie was very disappointing in a lot of ways, but there was also a lot of redeeming factors of that movie. And that's just what I wanted to say. I just wanted to try and defend that movie a little bit. Because people have been giving it so much shit. I'm like, well, hold on. Yeah, it's not a good movie, but, like, it's not terrible. And there's things about it I really enjoyed. I didn't watch it and get to the end of it and think, wow, I wasted my time. I was more like, all right, well, that's a good conclusion or stopping point to Thor and Jane and, you know, all that story. I liked Gore as a villain. I liked that he was, you know, very emotional and kind of lost it because his daughter, I mean, this is his daughter. Of course he'd be that way. But, you know, the thing that was a little stupid was how he talked. I don't know what it is with, like, some Marvel villains. They did the same thing in the Marvels with Dar-Ben. You guys are probably like, who the fuck is Dar-Ben? I know, I'm so fucking MCU brain rotted at this point. I've seen every MCU thing. So, even the bad stuff. So, you know, the Marvels it's Miss Marvel, the Monica? Is it Monica Rambeau? I think so. And Captain Marvel. And they're fighting this woman named Dar-Ben, who has like the thing that Ronan had from Guardians of the Galaxy, like the same like hammer. And the way she talks is just like, ugh, like, God, who's your acting coach? Like, she's always like, they sick the annihilator on us, and I'm just like, and she just like enunciates way too much, and it's just like, stop it. Like, no one else in this movie is doing this. It's uncomfortable. They kind of did that with Gore. Like, I know they do that. They did that with Gore because they really wanted to emphasize everything he was saying. It's a common thing they do in movies. Like in Star Wars, the reason why George Lucas made Yoda say everything backwards is because he wanted people to really pay attention to what he was saying. But comparing Gore and Love and Thunder to Yoda, that's kind of stupid. So I'm not gonna do that. I mean, Yoda's literally S tier and Gore is like C tier at best, in movie character wise. So, but the thing is, that was just the point I was trying to make. So that's why I think they did it. I don't know. He's very much like, I don't like it when they do this. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Go watch the movie. You'll see like there's moments where he's like, call the axe, and he's like, he could just be like, call the axe, Thor. But instead he's just like saying it all. He's doing too much. He's just doing too much. It's just like, come on, man. Like, nobody else in this movie is doing this. Like, you're the only one that's doing this. Like, they didn't do this shit with Ultron in Age of Ultron. He was a menacing and, like, you know, oh, okay, this villain actually is a good villain, you know. But, like, Gore, I don't think he was a bad villain. I think he was a great villain in a lot of aspects because I've always liked him as a villain in just Marvel in general. But I don't know, just the way, I mean, Christian Bale was playing him. I knew for a fact he didn't have to do him. It's probably the director. He's probably like, hey, I want you to make him sound like this. And I bet you Christian Bale's like, really? And it was like, yeah, man. Just be super dramatic and make him like basically like frothing black liquid from his mouth as he says everything. And it's like, okay. Um, anyway, that comes in last place of the Thor movies for me. But tell me, my friends, what do you think? What's your ranking of the Thor movies? Because for me, that's my ranking. I don't think my ranking of the Thor movies is technically incorrect. I think the only thing you guys would probably want to change is put the first one in front of the second one. I mean, I feel like I have a pretty decent ranking of that. But, you know, let me know what you think. What Thor movie was your favorite? What Thor movies did you like? And don't even just give me the ranking. Just, you know, let me know, like, what you liked and didn't like about the Thor movies, you know? Because Thor is my favorite MCU character. I mean, I've liked him ever since I was a little kid. I've always liked his confidence and his kind, like, hearted, but, like, strong and sometimes, like, boisterous nature. It's always, you know, been really, like, cool to me. So anyway, my friends, take care. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.